Well, welcome back everybody to the Crops-Drought Update Weekly, and this is week ending August 12th, 2022. So let's get to the maps and see what is in store this week. Okay, so we're starting always with the current large fire incidents. This is dated today, August 13. And again, the red and the blue and the black, the different colors are by incident type. That is shown down here. So type 1 incidents, type 2, and then other incident management teams. And so we've been kind of following this moose fire up here in Idaho, and the report today shows a growth of 3% from yesterday. It's still only in that 27% containment with a potential containment date of mid-September in 2022. So we'll just keep watching that and see how that progresses. The better map to use is this Firms US-Canada map. Again, I have it set to show these flames are showing large fires over 1,000 acres in size. And so down in New Mexico here, when we started this a month ago, there were two large incidents, both over 320,000 acres. The one down here in the south is not shown anymore. The large one up here, the Hermit's Peak, still 341,700 acres, 98% contained, so that's good. We had a little fire west of the Black Hills here, the Fish Fire, just under 7,000 acres, 98% contained, which is good. Have not seen any smoke in my area in the last week, and so it must be putting out very low amounts of smoke. The other large one that we've been kind of tracking is the Moose Fire in Idaho, just over 77,000 acres. If we zoom to that, again, here's the footprint of that. If we go to the satellite data and put on to see, it looks like it's pretty cloudy over there today, so we can't see any fire smoke from that. But what we can see through the clouds, it looks pretty clean. Possibly some smoke in some of these valleys. When we get into Yellowstone, we can see that Yellowstone looks like it's pretty clear today, so a good day to be in the park. Any day is a good day to be in the park, actually. You can see Yellowstone Lake here, so nice and sunny around there. Probably a nice day. Okay, so this is a great product. Again, you can follow these fires as you will on this product. Okay, let's look towards the vegetative indexes, and I'm going to start out with this VegDry map. And as you can see on the top up here, these data come from the VIIRS satellite, or the instrument on the SNPP spacecraft, which has issues apparently. And it says right here, no new maps will be produced for the next few weeks starting August 7th. So that was last week. So the last map we have for VegDry is July 31, and it looks pretty consistent with what we saw at the end of last week. Large drought swath again up through the central U.S. and then over in the extreme west. And so we will just have to wait and wait for this product to come back online. Okay, so VegDry, again, this is the last image that we're going to probably get, July 31, unless they post it on August 7th. I haven't seen that yet, but July 31 to the previous week. And again, the colors on here are for the yellows to the kind of more reddish are for degradation, moving in toward a higher class of drought, and then the greens into the blues are coming out of drought, being more wet. And so you can see a mix. For instance, New Mexico, there's some green, that's an improvement, and then there's yellows, which is a degradation. And so it's quite spotty as we move around, but you know, you pick your area out here. My area up here is pretty consistent, mainly white, with a few green and a few yellow spots in here, but we've been pretty consistent with the weather and the climate and drought condition that's been in this part of the country. Okay, the comparison slider on the drought monitor. As I slide this blue bar, we're going to look at the differences from the map that is shown, which is August 2nd, and the latest map, which is August 9th. will be portrayed. And so as we move through here, come through the eastern part of the U.S., you notice up there in Rhode Island, we go from an extreme drought to a severe drought over on the coastal areas. The rest of the eastern seaboard and coming in through the Ohio Valley in that area look pretty consistent, not many changes in there. Until we get to this southern Missouri area that we saw increase in drought a couple weeks ago, and it decreases from that extreme drought in the red to other areas. Other than that, it's pretty consistent. Very minor changes, not much change from about the Mississippi westward, except for that small area in southern Missouri. Okay, so again, this is going from August 2nd to August 9th, and that is the August 9 map right there. Okay, Vegscape, the last composite image available is for August 6th, and that's what we're seeing here. We can step through the dailies from August 6th into the 12th, and we'll do that. And so I think we looked at this as our ending image in the last episode, and again, this is NDVI, which is a satellite-derived product looking at differences in the reflectance off of whatever is on the surface of red and infrared bands on the satellite, and that's ratioed with a mathematical algorithm and produces this range of values. And so the higher the value toward 1, the more vigorous the growth state of the vegetation, down to the reds, which are going to be more bare soil, rock, those types of things. Very low growth rates in this, like 0.2 to 0.4 type of range, and then no data is the gray, which is going to indicate areas of pretty much extreme stress. And so for these areas up here in Minnesota, and then from central South and North Dakota westward, you can see these large gray swaths. Well, the ground is not bare in those areas, but on this day, the plants were under severe stress, and so the vegetative index was extremely low. And this is referred to again as kind of flash drought. And as we move through this week, the 7th up through the 12th, we can see this area of this flash drought kind of is going to sweep through the country from west to east on a daily basis. And so it moved through now the central part, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wisconsin, then to the 8th it moved over now into Missouri and Illinois. On the 9th, again, this kind of a swath going from southwest up to northeast. On the 10th, you can see this area in Rhode Island is droughty up here, and that is where we went into an extreme drought on the drought monitor this week. You can see it's still out there. And the 12th, which was yesterday. So again, these are just pictures of kind of the day-to-day situation of what things look like. If you're on this map, you can go in to look at any of these counties in more detail. So I'm going to try to scroll in, and it gets kind of confusing as it looks, updates as you scroll in, and then it takes a minute for it to load. So I'll scroll in another one, and I will do one more. Okay, so here, this line right here is the South Dakota-Wyoming border. South Dakota is to the east, Wyoming is off to the west. Pennington County is where I live, and probably right in by the E and the N is Rapid City. And we have been pretty dry, and even though the crops out here are, there's wheat out there, and just range grass and prairie grass, and a lot of grasslands showing pretty dry as this kind of droughty condition is persistent in our area. Down to the south down here, this area is the Badlands, and that's a lot of bare soil, bare rock with no vegetation, and that's why this is kind of orange and red. And in the droughty conditions, that kind of really extreme situation shows up in a lot of a lot of areas. Okay, so what does the forecast hold? Again, this is a GFS model. It's a 6-hour runtime starting at 12Z on the 13th, which is today, and it goes through this little run every 6 hours. So the time that it's forecast is going to be right up here starting at 12 p.m. August 13, and then it goes to 6-hour increments as it runs through. And so, you know, watching my area, it looks like on the 15th we got a couple hours where we might get some rain. Texas, these storms come through. It looks like they're just kind of rolling off over the top of Texas until we get out here into this August 19 time frame, and you can see, I'll manually move this. You can see some storms. Looks like it might be generating and moving through Texas, and going up to, you know, now the 22nd. You know, the problem with this is it's 246 hours out. So the probability of this situation actually happening is not that high. If we keep watching this, and as we approach this date, August 23, and these kind of predictive situations persist, then the chances are going to be greater for rain in these areas. So it looks to me like the upper Great Plains and the southern Great Plains, at least through the end of the month, is forecast to remain pretty much what it is now, with little relief, spot showers here and there. Okay, so that's the current situation on cropping and drought conditions across the U.S. I hope some of this information is useful, and this is an enjoyable product for you to look at on a week-to-week basis. And so we'll hopefully the problems with that VEERS instrument will be solved, and we'll be able to get some of the more current data here in the near future. So thanks for watching. Give this a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And as always, thanks for watching. See ya.